these circumstances, I ask people to be seated, but there's no need. Please be seated. Before I formally welcome people to today's commencement exercises, I want to take a moment to thank our wonderful plant staff and others who have found a way to make this gym look extra special. Did you ever imagine? I didn't. Would you join me in giving them applause? My thanks to all of the parents and others who have helped to put together this event of this week with such wonderful support for our students and for the school. Please join me in giving them a round of applause. Mr. Chairman, honored speaker, Board of Trustees, parents, grandparents, and friends. It's an privilege to welcome you to the commencement exercises for the class of 2015 at the Shipley School. This is our 121st graduating class, our largest class with 103 students, and by their own admission, our very best class. Somehow, as I woke this morning and walked outside to the rain that was falling, I couldn't help but think how it coincided in a simple way with the wonderful work of this class. Represents the adversity people in this class have faced in so many different ways. In fact, most recently, as you know, one of Graham Cuddy's lost his mother. Trish passed away a few weeks ago. Her dream was to be able to get to this graduation. The reality, she represented anything and everything you would want in a member of this community. She was of everyone. And I can't help but think that last night at the baccalaureate, where Graham was one of our student speakers, she was beaming with pride. As Graham presented his speech, it was clear that her message, one of togetherness and connection, is evident for all of us to see. I will say, Graham, I suspect that she probably struggled just a little bit with your comparison of the baccalaureate service to the Bachelorette TV series. But if I knew Trish, that's my son. I ask us to take a moment of silence in her memory and in the memory of all those others who aren't able to be here. I'm curious, how many of you class night and or baccalaureate? So those who may not have been at either, I'll apologize in advance that I will draw some references to both of those events. On Wednesday evening, we had the opportunity to hear about the wonderful accomplishments of the members of this class. Our faculty members took the time to write about each and every one of them. And if there's something that became clear, you knew better than anyone that this is a class with a strong sense of individual commitment, talent, and achievement, and even a stronger sense of togetherness. They've found a way to find their own roots, support each other at the same time. last night at the baccalaureate service, as I listened to our different speakers, Kayla, Graham, Ms. Pendergast, Ms. Dietrich, and Ms. Weigel, there was a remarkable overlap in what people had to say. First, our students made clear appreciate each other, the fact that they had learned to take risks, to find their passions, and to celebrate each other. The adults who spoke celebrated the remarkable connection among the members of this class. They are 103 people who have very different voices that come together to speak in a powerful way. In fact, this class has actually established a first here at Shipley in coming together, believe it or not, every single one of them to contribute to this year's senior class gift, which will be, in fact, a hanging of our motto, courage for the deed, grace for the doing, in our new Shipley Commons. Would you give them a round of applause for me? As Ms. Pendergast and Ms. Weigel in particular spoke to traveling somewhat similar route as they also prepare to leave, they made sure that as our students move forward, the most important thing is to remember who they are as individuals, and then at the same time continue to pursue the knowledge that they've begun to develop, to take the risks, whether it's in the classroom, on the playing field, the stage, or anywhere else in life, so that they'll be able to meet the challenges they face in life. The speakers agreed something we all know as adults. Our students have and probably will learn much more from their disappointments, at least in the moment, from their successes. And while we're hoping that they don't fall often, that they do fall enough to know how to get back up and to make a difference in the most difficult. Ms. Dietrich stole the show last night. And to put her speech in few words is difficult to do, but I think it can say that her speech was clear for all of us to hear. Probably the single most important message that I'd like our graduating class. She suggested that it was important as they move forward with whatever they decide to do, that they take good care for their own souls and minds, and to do it with integrity. And the added piece to that is that we hope they'll help others do the same. This is a truly remarkable group of young people who have made a difference here and will make a difference. And as I look up, I can see and hear Tricia Cuddy saying to me, "Steve, you need to finish this introduction. You know, there is an episode of Bachelorette immediately after the ceremony. And she's beaming with pride, inviting you, our Board of Trustees, our faculty, and all family and friends who can't be here, giving the class of 2015 its first, but a very profound round of applause." Welcome to the commencement exercises for the class of 2015.
Our wish for you today, as you stand on the edge of possibility, is that you remember, with a deep sense of accomplishment, the dedication and diligence necessary to reach this very moment, that you carry forth with courage for the deed, grace for the doing, that every gift given to you might grow along with you and let you give the gift of joy as well. Go forth into the world as strong leaders, guiding with intelligence and kindness, as inspired thinkers, creatively seeking positive change, as engaged citizens and volunteers, ready to share your gifts with your new communities. Be tireless, the common good. May your lives be a blessing to all.
Good morning. I am privileged to introduce our commencement speaker, Damon Pierce, a proud graduate of school, class of 1990, and currently a physician of obstetrics and gynecology at the Virginia Hospital Center and assistant professor at Georgetown University School of Medicine. Damon returned to Shipley last month to celebrate his 25th birthday and today share some about his journey over the past 2.5 decades with you. Bright, talented, and committed, Damon graduated from Colgate University with a Bachelor of Arts in Computer and received a Bachelor of Science in Biology from Old Dominion University. He graduated from Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine in 2004 and completed his residency in obstetrics and gynecology at Georgetown University. He went on to serve as the chief of the Department of Surgery at Hilton Head Hospital, where he was recognized Physician of the Year in 2012. While in, he also served as co-medical director of the Genesis Prenatal Clinic. Just last year, Damon relocated to Arlington, Virginia with his wife Yvonne, whom he met while he was a resident at Georgetown, and she was a labor and delivery neonatal intensive care unit nurse. She is now a certified nurse practitioner. While Damon's educational and professional credentials are impressive, it's his personal story and reflections on his formative years at Shipley that I think you will find the most compelling. During his time at Shipley, Damon and particularly enjoyed Russian class with Professor Eli. He reflects fondly on his experiencing the coming of age period at Shipley, with now his lifelong friends. I am sure Damon will speak to the influence and fierce determination of his mother, Cynthia Pierce, who was a strong advocate for education, not only for her children, 4 of them, but also for early childhood education for low-income families. She founded the Montessori Genesis II School, which Damon attended, which operated in West Philadelphia for 38 years until its closing in 2014. I would like to offer a warm welcome to some special guests this morning, the friends of Cynthia's, who were also mothers and members of the class of 1990. When Cynthia passed away late last year, the obituary in the Philadelphia Daily News began with a statement, quote, "It would not have been advisable to get in Cynthia Pierce's way when she was headed somewhere. Cynthia was a woman who got things done, and she didn't let obstacles interfere with her missions. One of the major goals in her life was quality and affordable education for low-income families, and she provided it." End of quote. Nancy Donaldson, head of Shipley's lower school at the time, said she was absolutely rock solid in the determination that her boy, Damon, was going to get the very best out of Shipley if she had to wring it out of all of us. Well, it seems to us that Cynthia certainly did achieve her goal, and Damon did get the best out of Shipley. We know that Shipley has benefited greatly from the many contributions of Damon and his irrepressible mother. I am to introduce Shipley's 2015 commencement speaker, Damon Pierce.
Thank you very much. Dr. Pilch, faculty, Board of Trustees, family, friends, and most of all, the graduates of 2015, for allowing me to speak at your graduation ceremony today. I do apologize. I know you're behind me, but I do want you to understand that what I say today is meant for you guys, and I apologize that I did not see you or meet you before today. The 121st Shipley Commencement. Now, there's a lot of tradition in 121 years. Are there any today? Yeah, raise your hands. Great. Welcome back. Here it is, your graduation. Can you believe it's finally here? It's been a long road for most of you and a very long road for Shipley lifers. And now we come together on the closing of one phase, the beginning of the next. It's great to be back, and as Dr. Pilch mentioned, I sat where you are 25 years ago, sitting and hoping and praying that it wasn't going to take long for you to finish so you can get your diploma and get your party started. Sadly, I don't even remember who my commencement speaker was or what she said. At some point, when she said, and in conclusion, something. Knowing how you all feel right about now, I'll try to keep this brief. I've been asked to you today. And speaking of, I always believed that commencement speakers were important people who were very successful and had a lot of wisdom to pass on. Dr. Pitch called and asked me to be the commencement speaker. I said, seriously? You want me to be the speaker? Me? And I wasn't really sure why I was sure I fell somewhere on his list well after Stephen Hawking and Mr. T. However, he insisted this was not the case, and he really wanted me to do this. And I do know that opportunities like this do not come very often. Plus, the first thing I thought of is that if I did not do this, my to kill me. So again, I am humbled to have been asked. But it still didn't answer the question of why me? I mean, seriously, why me? Who am I? Certainly, there are people as accomplished in our community. And even in my class, there are other doctors, dentists, art directors, entrepreneurs, lawyers, published authors, winemakers, and from what I hear, one pretty awesome Shipley art teacher. So who am I? I assume that since he asked me, I must have something to say. So in trying to figure out the question of who am I decided to reflect and tell you a little bit of my story of my time here at Shipley. I was born and raised in North Philadelphia, where many people, even today, not so nice part of town. I have two older sisters, an older brother. My father worked in electronics, and my mother, well, she was a piece of work. She was an advocate for education. She would often tell me as a child that education is the ticket to anywhere you wanted to go. My family certainly didn't have much, but my mom had big dreams. She and a few other parents who were in better educational options for their children in the Philadelphia public school system decided to start a small school of elementary education in West Philadelphia. She felt that it was elementary education that was the building blocks for a strong foundation in an educational future. The school was too, and I went there 1st through 4th grade, where at times my mother was the teacher, the principal, administrator, the cook, and whatever else that was needed to be done to keep the school. I was one of the first graduating classes from that school, and at the end of 4th grade, it was time to move on. Mother shopped all the mainline schools, announcing that she had a young, bright boy who needed to be educated. After taking a few tests, Shipley told my mother that they would be willing to accept me. So in a sense, Shipley chose me. That fall, I came from the inner city of Philadelphia, of big houses, fancy cars, manicured lawns, but apparently very few sidewalks. I started Shipley in 5th grade. There was one other student of color in my class, and I was only one of 5 in the whole middle school. I remember one day I came home and I told my mom that I decided I didn't want to go to Shipley anymore. I said, I don't know. I'm just different than everybody else. And she proceeded to hit me on the back of the head. I was like, what's that for? She said, you are different, and being different is a fact of life. Be different, but it takes work to make a difference. I'm sending you all the way out there just to be different. I had no idea what that meant at the time, but it was my first introduction to my mom that she had to teach me. So I went back to school. I came back and tried to fit in. Caesar, whom one of your music practice class is dedicated in the West Building, was one of my early best friends. I learned how to play soccer, play the recorder, foursquare. By sixth grade, I was the only student of color in my class. But by now, I was fitting in and saying things like, totally awesome, and listening to Duran Duran and the Talking Heads. Yes, this was the 80s. By seventh grade, I was busy with sports, puberty, ready for that called the upper school. However, I wasn't too scared since my mother was with me every step of the way. Eighth grade, my first year in upper school, and this is before the West Building was constructed, I had Mr. Moss for algebra, Madame Lurie for French, and managed to master my way around the campus, although it was much smaller back then. SATs, geometry with Mrs. Graff, and a brand new place called a lab was built with Mr. Barrett. By 10th grade, I had claimed upper school, only second to the juniors and seniors. I had some great teachers along the way, including Dr. Morinelli for French and the amazing Chris Wagner for art. But then you meet that one teacher that turned your life around. It was 10th grade English with Mr. Drake. First to admit that I hate English. Very cool, so I really liked his class. I had an assignment to write a paper comparing Lady Macbeth and Lady Macduff from Shakespeare's play Macbeth. And this was easily the worst paper I have ever written. I had nightmares about it after I handed it in because I actually knew how bad it was. Mr. Drake stopped me coming out of Raleigh Theater after assembly, and I asked what he thought. He looked at me and he said, lousy. So lousy, I'm going to give it back to you and let you try this again. And realizing I defend myself, I took this opportunity to do a much better job. So after working on rewriting, reviewing, I handed it in the very next day. A few days later, he handed it back to me with a C- on it. And I thought, that's not bad. Considering. So I thought nothing of it until I got home one day, and there was my mother standing at the door waiting for me. A progress report from Mr. Drake. The things that said, Damon does not work to his potential. She hit me in the back of the head. So I said what most people would say. I said, Mom, Mr. Drake's crazy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And she looked at me and she said, it costs you nothing to be nothing, and walked away. What does that mean? But that's the thing about wisdom. Most of it doesn't make sense for you to understand, and then you never forget it. And from that point on, I still hated English. But what I did not realize was how he would change my life. 11th grade, I started Russian with Professor Ely, enjoyed hanging around the junior study, and by the way, which has now been converted to a very clean bathroom if anyone needs to use one, and tried a new sport at Shipley called crew. 12th grade, I felt like I was running the school and getting ready for college, leading up to my graduation from Shipley 25 years ago. Now, I'd love to tell you that I was Shipley's valedictorian, that I went on to some fancy Ivy League school, college, graduated top of my class, and went to medical school. But let's just say it didn't happen that way. I went to Colgate University, and also, did I hear that 2 people in this class are going to Colgate? Yeah, and you? All right, congratulations. I hope you dress warm. For all intents and purposes, an average student. I majored in computer science because, quite honestly, it became It came easy to me, which allowed me more time, paid in more, other social activities. So when I was completing college and talking to my advisor about what I was going to do next, I told him I wanted to go to medical school. He laughed and said that I must be kidding. However, at this point, things were different. I was different. I was focused, and I knew what I wanted to do. And I know that going back to school with a non-biological science background in order to even get into medical school was going to be hard, very hard. So I went into the attic of my brain, and I found an old toolbox and dusted it off. And on this toolbox had the word Shipley. In it was everything that I needed for this next journey: biology, chemistry, math, English, foreign languages, logic, anthropology, analytical and critical thinking, and most importantly, how to study and process it. I took it with me, used it. What I found out was that I could do it. Turns out, I had more potential than I had realized, and that I could do more than I thought I was capable. I received a second bachelor's degree in biology and went on to medical school. And when I got there, I realized that my potential was even higher than I thought. I worked hard, and the harder I worked, the more potential I realized I had. I hoped to not reach my potential. It would mean that I had reached my limit. I didn't want to do that. I had to see what else I could do. I wanted to continue to work to my potential. Who knew? And this has led me to where I am today. And that's what you on the stage represent here today: potential. Do you realize how fortunate you are to have attended and graduated from the Shipley School, to have acquired this level of education? And this just may be high school to you, with a 1% college acceptance rate, academic opportunities here, and included in the top 25, not 25%, but 25 in the country with the highest standardized test scores. There are many who have come and gone, and fewer have made it to today. When college recruiters know that you have graduated from Shipley, they know that you represent a quality caliber of a student that simply cannot be contained by a GPA or a standardized test. You truly are among the best of the best. But you can only teach the best with the best. And this faculty has been handpicked for you, have come from various parts of the globe to have the challenge to work with the best and the brightest, and to help find your potential. So please, if you haven't already, please give your teachers a round of applause for the amazing job that they've done for you today. Potential is the reason why we celebrate you today. A tremendous factor that we all see in you, even if right now you may not see it. It is not defined by test scores, grades, or a college name. It is only bounded by the limitations of your efforts. This is to your potential and inspiring others to do the same. Success is something that you will all experience. You don't make it this far in the Shipley School and graduate and not experience success. But the difference between success and happiness is that you get what you want. Happiness, and if your ultimate goal is to be happy, then don't measure your success based on how it's defined by others or compared to another. Base it on your goals, your dreams, your personal accomplishments, and allow your own personal potential to stick. And when you're happy with what you're doing, not only will you become more successful, you will also set new levels of personal potential. Your teachers, your Shipley family, like any good family, has done their job to fill your mental backpack full of knowledgeable goodies to take with you through your journey in life. They have given you the tools to set yourself up for success. Now, this revelation became even more apparent to me. Recent events occurring in communities like Ferguson, Missouri, and West Baltimore. For some of you, these places represent stories in a newspaper or an, and for others, it is a world that you enter and exit through the remote of your television. But to me, this represents the world that I came from, like in North Philadelphia. And I hear all the time, Dr. Pierce, you worked hard, you made it out of there, and look at you now. And I respond with, yes, I did work hard, but I was lucky. I let it be known that what you don't hear about are all the people in those same communities who are struggling and working just as hard to improve their lives, the same communities like the one Shipley gave me. It's also about gaining perspective and realizing how far you've come from where you started. There's a difference between knowledge and wisdom in that without context and perspective. And that typically comes with life experience. For many of you, becoming a physician will not be very hard. Delivering a baby is not that difficult. Performing surgery is certainly not my biggest challenge. What makes me different is necessarily where I went to school, the titles I hold, the skin. It's about being a leader, what to do in difficult situations. It's giving others clarity and direction, experience and knowledge. Organizing others to achieve success by being prepared for success. And then it's opportunities to allow others to find their success. It's about making a difference. And it brings meaning to the saying that success is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. And as it turns out, that's what my mother was doing all along, setting me up for success. My mother loved Shipley and was still involved with Shipley for many years after. Whether it was in the greenhouse, with the Shipley holiday shops, or giving students what she called a verbal kick in the pants when they needed one. The importance of an education and knew the value of Shipley. What my mother couldn't give financially, she gave with herself. And I lost my mother to cancer. Many of you may have seen her, some of you may have known her, but had you met her, none of you would have forgotten her. My only regret is that she is not today, because I know for a fact that all that I have accomplished so far in my life, that being the Shipley Commencement would have been her proudest moment. Yet she remains current because I still remember things that she said to me, which still make no sense at all. However, I look forward to the day that they will, and I will thank her for it. And after 38 years, that little school that she helped start, unfortunately closed its doors in 2014 as well, but not before producing some great kids like Khalif Turner, Shipley class of '92, Brian Harris, Shipley class of '94, Raheem Turner, Shipley class of '96, Desiree Moore, class of 2008, Nori Topping, Shipley class of 2008, Keenan Tucker, Shipley class of 2011, Morgan Moore, Shipley class of 2013, William Shipley class of 2013. And that doesn't include the students who attended Baldwin, Agnes Irwin, Episcopal, and some of the other great schools in our community. I realize now how lucky I am, not just for the opportunity, but to have had a mother who had the wisdom to understand when Nelson Mandela said, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." So, in conclusion, I would like to leave you with a favorite quote of mine. It is by George Adair, and it is, "Everything you've always wanted is on the other side of fear." Don't be afraid to be different. Don't be afraid to work to your potential. And don't be afraid of your dreams, and create your own definition of success. So allow me to conclude the class of 2015. You are now forever a part of Shipley, and no matter where you go or where you are, a piece of you will always remain here. You are now graduates of Shipley and entering into and becoming a part of a very special family. So please, come back home and visit often. I wish you good luck. Your backpack is full, and you are about to receive your ticket. The world is waiting for you, and we are all here, anxiously, excited to see all the amazing things that you're about to do, because that's what we do. That's our tradition. So, alumni, are you ready for these guys? Faculty, are you ready for these guys? The class of 2015, are you ready? Doesn't sound like it. You ready? Yeah? All right. So to answer the question, who am I? My name is Damon Pierce, and I am Shipley, class of 1990. Welcome to your new family. Thank you.
Behalf of graduating class of 2015, I'd love to present Dr. Pierce. Dr. Pierce with a small token of Shipley's appreciation. Dr. Pierce, we hope you and your wife will wear these clothes with pride. Shipley clothes.
Thank you very much to the class of 2015 and for everyone for attending.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pierce. In many years, we present an honorary diploma to people who have served the school in special ways. This year, we have a significant number of important people we would like to recognize. You have just had the pleasure of hearing Damon Pierce share his thoughts on the class of 2015. You know from and his own words just how incredibly important and wonderful his mother, Cynthia Pierce, was. What you may not know, or what you do know now, I think, is that while Damon was here and after he graduated, she played a vital role here at Shipley. A curious and committed person who knew how to get things done, she asked relevant questions and did whatever she could to become better. Positive and thoughtful, she provided direction and support that impacted students, teachers, fellow parents, and the community at large. When she passed away in December, her family and friends, as well as Shipley and the community, lost the truest advocate and supporter they asked for. An activist in the purest and best sense of the word, Shipley showed us how to do it with courage and with grace. We know that if she were here today, she would be beaming with. With that in mind, it seems appropriate that we honor the difference she made by presenting an honorary diploma in Cynthia Pierce's name. Damon, would you please come forward and receive it from Dr. Pilch?
You'll shake Mrs. Dan's hand first.
We're getting ready for the photo ops. In addition, please join me in celebrating our other honorary diploma recipients. Present to come to the stage and receive your honorary diploma from Dr. Pilch and Mrs. Van Steenwyck. Network specialist and robotics aficionado Gary White, if he's here. He's a little surprised by this. There we go. Yay. upper school teacher extraordinaire, Shar Weigel.
Char's used to making the plans. She wasn't ready for this.
Impassioned lower school music and science teacher, Coralie Moorhead. And I believe this one, a dedicated lower school math specialist and a teacher associated with the school for 50 years, Joan Elliott. And finally, we honor a remarkably committed and supportive teacher and student of history, Jim White.
One. Sorry. Our remarkable academic dean, Barry Pendergast.
Now that's an honor to be associated with this class. So now it is our privilege to present the class of 2015 with their well-earned diplomas. DeAndre Jordan. Emily Armstrong. Haley Morgan Bacharach. David Bacali. Natasha D. Polo. Randall Bessier. Janae Simone Bindum. Cameron Mead Bull. Tayana Elena Monet Bowman. Ethan Paul Bradlow. Austin Lawrence Bramley. Samuel James Brandt. Zachary Anthony Brida. Griffin Aaron Boreanaz Brooks. Brooke Marilyn Bruno. Conrad Bruce Bolanowski. Sarah Freeman Clothier. Joseph Riley Cruz. Graham Paris Cuddy. Carl Dennis Deakins. Logan Riley Dean. Wilder Yasha Arman Aralou. Eleanor Aralou. Marai Aralou. Keegan Carnican Farr. Gabriel Alexander. David Forer in absentia. Martine Gabrielle Fortune. Sarah Leon French. Joshua C. Gorell. Jordan Elizabeth Gottlieb. Virginia Ross Gresh. Rachel Michelle Groveman. Kayla Marie. Ian Hamilton. Robin Neely Hayes. Zoe Catherine Helmers. Connor McAllister Higgins. Nia Simone Holland. Aaliyah Crystal Holloway. Anne Fawn Homans. Anissa Carolyn Iqbal. Quamir N. Johnson. Demetra Maria Corrales. Joshua Cat. Matthew Bernard Kelly. William Joshua Klein. Allison Grace Katari. Sarah Brooke Lustgarten. Meredith Ann McGuire. Sydney J. Majors. Florence Giuseppina Morabito. Luke Marsh. Edward Cornelius McCann. John Gerald McCarty. Kate. David Wilson McCrate III. William Roderick McKenna. Elizabeth McLaughlin. Elizabeth Prince Menkowitz. Benjamin Isidore. Hallie Rebecca Nagorski. Anne Reed Nielsen. D. L. Nesmith. Rachel Norris. John Anthony Parker. Elijah Peak. Nicholas A. Pedro. Brandon R. Pell. Sebastian Pepper. Matthew Travis Payton. Sophie Vanderveer Pilkington. Jordan Bailey Pollock. Zachary Fitz Quayle. Emma Ragsdale. Lucy Adele Rowe. Emma Christy Skornavaki. Anna Helene Scott. Amanda Ann Samara. Chase Sham. Rachel Maya Shapiro. Jennifer Arden Silverstein. Riley Benjamin Smith. Joshua Aaron Spear. Catherine Ellen Steiner. Spencer Plenaire Stroud. Mariel Noreen Swerin. Campbell Ingersoll Taylor. Lucas Fitzpatrick Tortella. Madison Lynn. Brian Scott Turner. Agnia Ustimenko. John Hunter Vanderswag. Christopher Michael Verdor. Alina Shoshiang Wang, in absentia. Trayvon Webster. Nathaniel Copeland Wheeler. David Samuel Wolfson. Benjamin Louis Inocencio. Kurt Zachariah. Kevin Donald Zwolak. Please join me in congratulating our distinguished and beloved class of 2015. Please remain standing or stand for the school song.
Actually, if we could have the graduates remain standing, but we can have the families have a seat for a second. Graduates, when I was about your age, I was terrified of commencement. Believe it or not because I had a vendetta against any person or institution that mandated I dress appropriately and wear a jacket and tie. Clearly, I've come a long way since then. Nor was I terrified because I was getting ready to embark on a journey into adulthood. To my mother, I would have to figure out how to keep a roof over my head, keep the refrigerator stocked, and clothe myself, because to her estimation, that part of her parenting job was over. No. I was terrified because my entire complex family was coming to graduation. And I was afraid they would do any number of embarrassing things my teenage mind would really dislike. Things like wanting to take pictures of everything and everybody. You haven't lived until you've had to wait for my father to try to reload a camera with film without his reading glasses. I was also worried that we'd have these embarrassing arguments about whose career path I would follow or what to do with my life. But most of all, I was terrified that my younger siblings would do embarrassing little sibling things. In a panic, I called my dad, anyone to come. Thankfully, they helped me appreciate commencement in a much deeper way. He said, "Son, commencement isn't all about you. First, it's an opportunity for me and my parents, friends, and family to puff us and be really proud. The truth is, other than knowing we love you beyond words, we had no idea what this day would look like 18 years ago when you were 9 pounds and 8 ounces resting in my hands. So yes, we are all coming. And no, we will not apologize for our pride embarrassing you that day. Thrilled to have a young man, we are thrilled of the young man you became today, and we are definitely coming, Second, about setting clear examples for success for your little brother and sister. Because believe it or not, they idolize you, and they follow your lead beyond any piece of parenting advice I will ever be able to give them. It's important that they see these things as they begin to build their own legacy. As it relates to you, son, commencement is not about, it's about the beginning you are about to realize with all the opportunities ahead of you. Those arguments about your future, those are just a manifestation of our love for you. To the parents and families of the class of 15, be proud of, to the parents and families of the class of 2015, be proud your love has transformed these fine young people into what you see on this stage. Rest assured you've gotten it right. And thank you for trusting with everything in the whole wide world. To the class of 2015, take a moment to let all the accomplishments soak in. Now take another moment beaming towards you right now. Don't take these two things for granted, as they will be your fuel for the journey ahead. You have all the skill and the raw talent to accomplish anything you want in life. Remember that, and if you embrace only half of the love and the faith today, you will go as far as you want. Congratulations to you all. I look forward to seeing you change the world and have a fun and safe